Welcome back to LJG Sports. Let's talk about the draft. The draft last night, I stayed and watched most of it. I was really excited for my Spurs getting Dylan Harper at 2 and then Carter Bryant at number 14. But there's a lot of moves that I thought were shocking. I thought there were some trades that didn't make sense for certain teams. I feel like there were players that definitely fell down in round 1 that shouldn't have fallen that much. I feel like there were players that got picked really high and they shouldn't have been picked that high. So I wanted to go over my winners and losers of the NBA draft. I have, I believe, 7 winners and 3 losers. And the winners, some of them are kind of like, they're not really winners, they just did what they were supposed to do, which we'll get into. My first winner, the Dallas Mavericks. They're a winner just because Nico Harrison didn't screw things up and didn't shock the world again and drafting someone else besides Cooper Flagg. Like I said, I wouldn't say this is like a out of the park grand slam draft pick because it's clear and obvious. Anyone with a brain, anyone who watches sports, even remotely, will tell you that Cooper Flagg was the obvious number 1 pick. And the Mavericks did what they're supposed to do and drafted him at number 1. So they're one of my winners. Don't want to talk about this too much, but they're getting Cooper Flagg, who's going to a very good situation in Dallas, where Kyrie Irving just re-signed. They still have Klay Thompson, guys like PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively. They also just recently got Anthony Davis in the Luka Doncic trade, and now they have Cooper Flagg. So a very big defensive team with experience, with youth, with three-point shooting, with defense. So it's going to be fun to watch the Dallas Mavericks next year. As a Spurs fan, I am a little unhappy that they're going to be probably really good. But they're winners in this draft to me because they did the right thing and they got Cooper Flagg, a generational talent, at number 1. The next winner I want to talk about is the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat got Kasparis Jakinchonis. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but they got him at 20. And for me, I thought he would go close to top 10, if not for sure lottery. I didn't think he was deserving of top 10. I did think he should have been a lottery pick just because of the upside and the potential he has. 6'6", good ball handler with good size, can pass the ball, can score. Yes, the shooting isn't great. And yes, he was very inconsistent at times with Illinois, but again, the potential is there to be a Luka Doncic-like player. Not exactly Luka Doncic, but Luka Doncic-like. And so, the Miami Heat, who ended up missing out on Kevin Durant and as he was traded to the Rockets, them going with Kasparis Jakinchonis, great pickup for them. It was a need. They got him at great value at pick 20. And so they're another winner to me in this NBA draft. Next team I want to talk about is my San Antonio Spurs. Yes, we made the right pick at number 2, and a lot like Cooper Flagg, it was just the pick you had to make. Cooper Flagg was obviously number 1. Dylan Harper was number 2, and then everyone else was in a league of their own at that point. To me, Dylan Harper was closer to the Cooper Flagg level prospect than he was to the next one below him, like Ace Bailey, Trey Johnson, VJ Edgecombe. I've said it before, Dylan Harper would be number 1 in a lot of other drafts. Last year, I think he would have gone number 1 over Alex Sarr, over Zachary Risache. And so the Spurs get Dylan Harper. They made that pick, but they also, at 14, get Carter Bryant. Now, Carter Bryant was getting a lot of hype going into this draft. Some people had him going top 10. I thought he was going top 10 because he's a great defender who can guard literally 1 through 5. He's around 6'8", 6'7", 6'9", depending on who you ask. I think he's around 6'8", if you ask me, with shoes on. Great defender who can literally guard 1 through 5. He guarded a lot of 5s, especially thinking back in the Oregon game in the NCAA tournament. He was guarding their big man in a lot of that game. And then there were games where they would have him guard the point guard. And that is just great. He's a great lockdown, versatile defender who's long, 7'1" wingspan, I believe. Great defender. The Spurs needed defense. Outside of Victor Wembanyama, the Spurs were not that good on defense. Even though we have good pieces like Stephon Castle, like Jeremy Sohan, they just really need to put it together. And I feel like Carter Bryant will help them do that. And he's also really good on the offensive end in the sense that, he only averaged like 6 points per game at Arizona. But they had a lot of ball-dominant guards over there, and he was just a catch and shoot guy from three, and he shot it well, I believe 37% from three, over 40% on catch and shoot threes. And with the Spurs, when you have so many mouths to feed, like Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama, even someone like Devin Vassell, you need guys who can just catch the ball and shoot and play on defense. So we have that in Carter Bryant. We also have Julian Champagnie still who can do that. Harrison Barnes, who's a veteran, who can do that. So the Spurs set up their roster really well. They really only need a big man now. So A+ draft for the San Antonio Spurs. The next winner I'm going to get to is the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets, a lot of people raise their eyebrows at the Hornets selecting Con Kneppel at number 4. Yes, I would have drafted someone like Trey Johnson at 4 instead, but I like Con Kneppel a lot. He is one of those players where he's such a sure thing at the three-point shooting. He is the best shooter in this draft. Yes, there's some limitations on his agility, his athleticism. He's a solid defender, though, but despite that, good size at 6'7", can shoot the three, can score, can secondary ball handle for a team, can be the secondary ball handler for a team. And his ceiling isn't that high, but his floor is not that low. He has a very high floor. I feel like every team needs a guy like Con Kneppel. And for the Charlotte Hornets, with guys like LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges, you need someone like this on your team to fill out that roster. Hopefully it works out for the Charlotte Hornets. But I like the pick with Con Kneppel at number 4. And then they also made a trade trading Mark Williams. I really wasn't a fan of the trade. I just thought it was whatever. But they also drafted Liam McNeely at number 29. I thought Liam McNeely would go anywhere from like 15 to 20. He ended up going 29 to the Hornets. Good three-point shooter, at least that's what scouts say. He was a great three-point shooter in high school. At UConn, he did not shoot the ball well from three, I think like 30%. But people still believe the form. People still believe that he's a good three-point shooter. So I'm not going to go against the experts and the scouts on this one. Again, another good connecting piece to add to this team. You need guys like Con Kneppel, Liam McNeely, Trey Johnson, Carter Bryant, You need guys like that, and they got 2 of them. At really good value, especially with Liam McNeely. So I got 2 more winners, more like 3 because I grouped up 2 teams for one of the spots. But the next winner I have is the Utah Jazz. Only because Ace Bailey, they got him at 5. Ace Bailey obviously has a lot of upside. And with the Jazz, obviously extending Larry Markkinen this past summer, they have guys like Colin Sexton, John Collins, Isaiah Collier. They have a lot of good guys on that team, young guys, but there's really no one to lead the way. Larry Markkinen kind of took a step back this year, I would say. They bring in Ace Bailey, and he is their guy now. I know Ace Bailey apparently did not want to go to Utah, but the Jazz ownership said, you know what? We don't care. We're going to draft you anyway. We're going to build our team around you. Because it's not like he's not going to play. Like, what is he going to do? So I just like the guts from the ownership to say, you know what? We're taking Ace Bailey. Don't care if you don't want to come here. Apparently he wants to go to the Wizards, which I don't know why he would want to go to the Wizards. But he goes to the Utah Jazz, and I just like the boldness from their ownership group to draft him regardless of whether he wanted to go there or not. In my last 2 winners, I have them grouped together because I don't think they're as big winners as the other teams I mentioned prior. But there were just some other picks that I really liked. Trey Johnson to the Wizards, who I thought was better than VJ Edgecombe, who I thought is better than Con Kneppel. The Wizards get him. And then Cedric Howard going to the Grizzlies, another guy I really liked. Didn't play much, but another one of those good connecting pieces, 3-and-D guy, 3-and-D wing, which every NBA team needs in this modern NBA. So those are my winners. Now let's go to the losers. I only have 3 losers, but man, did these teams lose. And it was not great, and I scratched my head constantly through the draft with these teams' picks, so let's just get right into it. All right, loser number 1, we're going to go New Orleans. It was the first draft pick I really questioned. I did think Jeremiah Fears, who went to the Pelicans at number 7, was going to go top 10. I didn't think he should go top 10. I really don't see what other teams see in him, and maybe I'm wrong on him, but he's a guard with good size, 6'4", but he cannot shoot. He is pretty athletic, pretty speedy, can score. It scored well at Oklahoma. But I just don't know if there's room, if there is a need for him, the type of player that he is in this modern NBA. And you add him to the New Orleans Pelicans, who really don't need him. I know DeJounte's not going to play for most of the year, or maybe half the year. And then we'll get up to the Pelicans' weird lineups, which they'll have next year. But then they also picked Derek Queen at number 12. Was it number 12? I actually don't know when he got drafted. It was around that area. I think it was pick 13, excuse me. But Derek Queen, a good offensive big man, cannot shoot, but skilled footwork, not the greatest defender. They picked up him. I really did not like this pick for the Pelicans because I thought Queen would go around this range, but not to the Pelicans because they really don't need Queen. They have Zion, they have Yves Messi. So what is this team going to look like next year? You have DeJounte Murray, when he comes back, not a good three-point shooter. You have, obviously, just drafted at number 7, Jeremiah Fears, not a good three-point shooter, needs the ball in his hands. You have Zion Williamson, downhill guy. Yves Messi, he's not shooting the ball. And then Derek Queen. Like, how are you going to make this lineup work? What are you going to put out there? Obviously, you have guys like Trey Murphy, who's really good. But the rest of these guys, you can't, there's not a starting five that you can make from this and say, oh, that's a good lineup in today's NBA. Are you going to play Zion at the 1 now? Like, what are they going to do? I really don't know what they're doing in New Orleans. 2 head-scratching picks there, Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen. I don't mind Derek Queen going around that range, but it just doesn't fit. And then Jeremiah Fears, I thought was overhyped by a lot of teams, including the Pelicans, and they're the ones that drafted him at 7. So, again, they may prove me wrong, but Pelicans are the first team that were losers in this draft. The next one, which is, I think, just obvious, the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets definitely surprised everyone, and they kept all their first-round picks. All 5 of them. I don't even think that's the worst thing. I think that if there wasn't a trade on the table that you wanted to move up or whatever, okay, great. They're a team that's not going to be really good next year, probably one of the worst. And you have 5 picks, go get 5 rookies, put them on this team, and just see what happens. I don't mind that strategy. However, who they picked is more of the head-scratching thing. So they took Igor Demin first. I thought they reached on Igor Demin a lot. I did not think he was going to go that early. I think he got picked at number 8. So Jeremiah Fears was the first one, like, okay, I get why they're drafting him because a lot of teams like him. I don't like that pick. And then Igor Demin went at 8, and I was like, okay, not only do I not like that pick because I don't think he's that good, I don't think anyone thought he was that good. I thought he would go around the 20 range. And the Brooklyn Nets take him at 8. Apparently there's reports that he really killed the workout, and okay, yeah. But him at BYU, he was not good at all. Going in before he played his season at BYU, he was a very highly touted prospect. Big 6'9" guard who can dribble and pass. He's a great gifted passer. But at BYU, he did not play well. He only averaged like 10 points a game, shot really poorly, terribly from 3. He's not a good shooter, and he did not play well at BYU against not the greatest competition. So, again, there's potential there, but that was the first really head-scratching pick. Then they took 2 other guards, Nolan Traore and Ben Saraf, who cannot shoot and who really need the ball in their hands. Maybe Saraf can potentially move off ball, but these 3 guys are you really question their outside shooting. And it's like you took 3 of them. Maybe their idea was, hey, we're going to get 3 of these guys with potential, big combo guards, and hopefully one of them will pan out. And maybe that ends up working for them. But you took 3 big guards who cannot shoot. When you had 5 picks, and if you told me prior to the draft that they're going to keep all their 5 picks, I would say, good, that's cool. They can take advantage of this. But they took Demin, Nolan Traore, and Ben Saraf. I was just really questioning what the Nets were doing there. And again, maybe it works out for them, but it will be interesting to watch the Nets next year. I definitely will want to watch some Nets basketball to see what they're going to do with all these players. 3 big combo guards who can't shoot, but we'll see what happens. Then they also took Drake Powell and Danny Wolf. They aren't their best shooters. And so, again, just questions like, what type of team are you building with this? But they were better, especially at their value. But yeah, I really question what the Nets were doing that night. And again, maybe you would think out of drafting a 6th of the first round this draft, one of them will pan out. But I really felt like they could have gone better players in this draft. And the last loser is, you may have guessed it, the Portland Trail Blazers. Very confusing. I had no idea who this Young Hansen guy was. And so when they called it at 16, I was like, who? Like, who the heck is this guy? Apparently, I've been seeing videos, he's Chinese Jokic. He was 48 on my player board. Yes, if you look at his highlights, you can see, great footwork, great knack for the ball, great passer as a big man, good footwork and good dribbling for that size, good shot blocker. Yeah, I get that. But if you watch the highlights, he plays in a league that is not that good at all. It's not very good. That's why he's ranked. He was not even projected to go in the first round, let alone mid-first round. He was, I think, projected to go around mid-second round. Like, that's what the consensus was. And he ends up going at 16. Plus, the Portland Trail Blazers already have DeAndre Ayton and Donovan Clingan, who they just drafted last year. So again, another head-scratching one. If he turns out to be Chinese Jokic, then fair play. They saw what they saw, and maybe there was a team that was going to get him, and that's why they had to get him at 16. But being that he was projected to go mid-round 2, and you really don't need a center when you have Clingan and Ayton, it's just very questionable for sure. But yeah, those are my 3 losers. Tell me who you thought won the draft the most. Was it my San Antonio Spurs? Was it the Washington Wizards? Was it the Mavericks because they got Cooper Flag? And then who was your biggest loser? Was it the Nets? Was it the Trailblazers? Or was it a team that I didn't mention? Let me know down below. Let me know down below what you agree with, disagree with. Let me know what your favorite pick was. Let me know what your least favorite pick was, and I will see y'all in the next video.